Broadcasting Corporation, and Globe My Business. Create your success.
Greetings from the Philippines to the world. Welcome to the premiere episode of Open for Business on Net25 and to our 57th episode online. Join me discover the latest news and information in business around the world. Stay ahead of the curve from vision to action. Earlier today, to celebrate the contribution of MSMEs in the national economy, Open for Business opened a mini trade fair followed by business talks that provide more information and updates to entrepreneurs. This afternoon, we are showing highlights of the messages of our distinguished resource persons whose insights will surely contribute to the empowerment of SMEs in the various facets of their operations. For the first part of the two-part series of our launch episode, let's listen to key personalities from government agencies who have the mandate to promote MSMEs, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Department of Trade and Industry.
Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net25.
Open for Business is presented by Globe My Business. Create your success.
The revised Corporation Code is a landmark piece of legislation because it overhauled the nearly 4 decades-old Corporation Code of the Philippines. It has introduced several new key features. 1 is ease of doing business, 2, good corporate governance, and 3, more protection to corporations and stockholders. An OPC is composed of a single stockholder who shall be the sole director and president of the OPC. We foresee that this could take the place, I'm sorry to ASEC at the DTI, but we foresee that this might take the place of the single proprietorships, which DTI regulates now. We at the SEC, especially our chairperson, Emilio Aquino, believes that the creation of an OPC is especially beneficial in an economy where micro, small, and medium enterprises, which comprise more than 99% of business establishment in the country, and they generate around 63% of jobs. We foresee, of course, that the generation of jobs will increase with the OPC. Now, the revised Corporation Code has also introduced a corporation's perpetual existence. What does that mean? It's the most eye-catching provision because now a corporation can exist beyond 50 years. Once upon a time, under the old Corporation Code, the corporation that you create will only live for 50 years and then ipaparenew nyo na. Now, the provision in law simply states that corporations with certificates of incorporation issued prior to the effectivity of the revised Corporation Code and which continue to exist shall have perpetual existence. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, love may not be forever, but now corporations are forever. Yeah? Now this is good and ingenious because it eliminates the possibility of businesses from prematurely shutting down. We, at the SEC, we've had bad experiences of big companies suddenly na-shut down sila by accident because the corporate term of 50 years expired. Tama-tama kasi someone didn't file the correct papers on time. And you would be surprised, such a simple mistake has very far-reaching consequences. So with this will mean there's less paperwork involved. And as lawyers here, my friend lawyers here, less paperwork the better. Moreover, there's no longer any required minimum capital stock. So it's much easier, no, this lessens the barrier for opening a corporation and in doing business. This one's a little more technical. This refers to remote communication. When I say remote communication, it makes it easier for you now to do your day-to-day operations of corporations and compliance with the regulatory framework. Now, directors, trustees, officers, and stockholders are allowed to attend and vote in meetings through remote communication devices, cell phones, no? To a certain extent. Cell phones, FaceTime, things like that. Even electronic notices of meetings are also allowed. So the purpose here is to make things much easier for you to operate on a day-to-day basis. All these businesses, in particular for micro, small, and medium enterprises, are now much easier to start and operate. In short, with the revised corporation code, and in particular with the OPC, now is a good time to start a business and incorporate at the SEC. And after all, to quote our chairperson's personal mantra, it's easy at SEC. The independent directors must constitute at least 20% of the board, and they're now required to elect a compliance officer. A compliance officer's job is to make sure that businesses operate sustainably, good corporate governance. And it's good for lawyers again, because now that's an additional job for lawyers, required by law, no less. There's also the provision on an emergency board. Sorry, I forgot to. There's also a provision on an emergency board, which is permitted when a vacancy in a corporation's board prevents the remaining directors from constituting a quorum. Once upon a time, before the revised corporation code, if some of your board directors are not around or something happens to the other board directors, there's no way for the corporation to operate properly because there's no mechanism, there's no way, walang paraan at the time, for you to have your board operate with everyone else gone. Now, the law provides that you can create an emergency board, which is permitted when a vacancy in a corporation board prevents the remaining directors from constituting a quorum, and consequently making emergency action required. There's also a limitation on the dealings of directors, trustees, and officers with the corporation, which now includes contracts of corporations with the former spouses and relatives within the fourth civil degree of consanguinity or affinity. In short, such contracts are now voidable. This means that conflict of interest is now not allowed. Once upon a time, conflict of interest medyo nakakalusot pa eh. Now, wala na talaga. We also now afford more protection to corporations and stockholders. It has given us at the SEC substantial powers to protect corporations and stockholders. For instance, the SEC now has stronger investigatory powers, so we can investigate more easily now. We can conduct summary investigations if a corporation denies or does not act on a demand for inspection. The SEC may also issue an order directing the inspection or reproduction of requested documents. And also when a corporation is ordered dissolved by final judgment because of securities violations, smugglings, and the like, the SEC may now forfeit in favor of national government, the corporation's assets, and other payments of liabilities. Now, having discussed all this, I do believe that we at the SEC are uniquely equipped and ready to help make the Philippines a world-class economy. By encouraging the ease of doing business, good corporate governance, and affording more protection to stockholders and corporations through the revised corporation code, and with the help of entrepreneurs and businessmen who will establish and run businesses such as OPCs, hopefully, and MSMEs, we can all be instrumental in establishing substantial economic growth amidst a wave of change in the country. So let me end with a simple quote from the US President Ronald Reagan. "There are no great limits to growth, because there are no limits of human intelligence, imagination, and wonder." Ladies and gentlemen, there is no limit to the growth of the economy. There is no limit to the growth of the country, with the help of brilliant and intelligent minds such as those in front of me now. I look forward to working with you as an SEC Commissioner in bringing about this change, this growth in the country. Congratulations again to Eagle Broadcasting Corporation. Thank you and good morning.
I'd like to do a little bit of, I was invited seriously to talk about ease of doing business. But after seeing everything, going through the exhibition area, and I realized that really, ang tingin ko talagang swak na swak po si DTI because puro SMEs po yung nandito today. So, naisip ko, sige, pakilala, but I'd like to try to weave a little bit from what is original. But sabi nga ni Cesar, let me wing it. So, papakilala lang ho ako. Who are we? Ako po si Jean Pacheco, taga DTI. Marami po kami sa DTI, but I belong to the unit called Competitiveness Bureau. Ngayon to, meron po, bawat firm, kayo po ay nandito, iniimbitahan ko ho kayo. We are challenging all of you here today, mga businesses, to become a Philippine Quality Awardee. Pag sinabi po nating DTI, TNK po yan. Trabaho, negosyo, at consumer. Yan ho, if you hear DTI, in charge po kami sa pag-generate ng mga trabaho. We are encouraging investments, whether foreign or local, to come here. And then, ito po kami, competitiveness and innovation. Kailangan po maging competitive ang ating bayan. Pag ang bayan po natin ay competitive, sabi nga mataas ang ranking, pupunta dito ang mga investors. At pag pumunta po dito ang investors, magkakaroon po tayo ng negosyo at pag maraming negosyo, maraming trabaho. DTI is very well known for promoting micro, small, and medium enterprises. How I wish the Secretary is here today because he himself would be able to tell you exactly his mantra of 7 M's. Ano ho namin yan? Talagang pinapamemorya ho sa amin yan ni Secretary. When we say 7 M's, mindset, mastery, mentoring, market, money, machine, and model. I will not go into the details. I have seen your program and many of your speakers, in fact, are experts in their field. Makikita po ninyo sa kanila, marami po sa kanilang mentors. Mindset, kailangan daw pag negosyante kayo, talaga hong dapat thinking entrepreneurial. Matapang po matapang po tayo. And we are able to a go-getter. Yan po yung mga po natin, kailangan pag pumasok po tayo sa negosyo, meron po tayong ganyang mindset. We also go to a negosyo and dapat pag-aralan ho natin siya, mastery. Kailangan ho natin ng tulong. So, andyan po ang DTI ho, nagbibigay ho ng tulong. Meron kaming tinatawag na Kapatid Mentor Me program. So, punta ho kayo sa website ng DTI. Kung hindi pa ho namin kayo tinutulungan, we urge all of you here to take participate po kayo sa programs ng SME development because ang dami po naming program relative to that. Pati po market, nakita ko ho yung mga ibang nandito ngayon and yung mga produkto po, tinutulungan po kayo ng DTI dyan. Even po sa pag-utang, meron po kaming P3 program. And also, pati ho, machine, meron ho kaming shared service facilities program. If we need assistance relative to facilities, tutulungan din po namin kayo dyan. So, punta lang ho kayo sa website ng DTI and all of these programs are very much available to you. Would-be negosyante, currently negosyante, gusto nyo pong mag-expand, yan po talaga ang priority ng aming Secretary of Trade. Okay? So sabi ho namin, DTI, trabaho, negosyo, consumer. I won't go into the details, pero alam nyo naman kung sino ang mga nagpupunta sa palengke para tingnan ng presyo. Kami po yon. Pag kung may complaint kayo tungkol sa nabili ninyo na mali, sira, substandard, takbo po kayo kay DTI. So yan po din si DTI. Tingnan nyo po yung mga reforms na ginawa po natin. Ito po nakita ho natin, we had to work with the Securities and Exchange Commission to amend the Corporation Code. So, according to Commissioner Kelvin, he already did, in fact, discuss it. But lagi kami magkasama because yun pong when the Corporation Code amended the minimum paid up capital, isa lang hong ibig sabihin nun, may additional points tayo. Yun ho. Ibig sabihin ng additional points, tataas yung ranking natin doon. Sa papalakpakan po natin ng SEC. Napakalaking ginawa ng SEC. Marami po yan. I have to tell you that many of our reforms, we start with Quezon City. Nasa Quezon City po ba tayo? Covered po kayo. Kayo mismo ang magsabi sa amin kung nararamdaman nyo dahil it is in Quezon City which is the representative city of the World Bank. So lahat po ng pagbabago, ginagawa po namin sa Quezon City. So during the time of in Quezon, even until now, we will continue changes. Nagkaroon po ng one-stop shop ang Quezon City. Change po natin ang kanilang mga proseso dito sa Quezon City. So I just hope that nararamdaman po ninyo yan. Getting credit. Dito ho tayo bumagsak sa ranking, hindi ho tayo makapayag dyan kasi ang dami ho natin talagang programa. Protecting minority investors. If it weren't, we are hoping for a movement here, Mr. Commissioner, because of the initiatives, the reforms made by the SEC. So if you have reforms and it moves up the ranking, dadating po yung negosyo. Paying taxes. Gusto ho namin mas mabilis ang inyong pamamaraan. Even yung sa value-added tax, I think we'd like to fix that as well. but there are many reforms that we have made. Kung kayo po ay nag-import-export, binabantayan po natin yung proseso with the Bureau of Customs. At the Bureau of Customs is also doing many things relative to making importing or exporting easier. Enforcing contracts, I understand that your chair really came from the judiciary, and this is what I was talking to you, sir, earlier on, that we are now doing a whole of government approach. So, sama-sama po ang Kongreso, the executive branch, and the judiciary. Nagtutulong-tulong ho lahat para dito sa competitiveness ranking. And they were able really to increase the thresholds for small claims. So ngayon ho, mas mataas na yung threshold. Pag pala ho small, hindi ho ako abogado, pero pag pala daw small claims, hindi nyo na daw kailangan ng abogado. Mas mabilis ho. Walang cost. Samantalang kung magkokorte kayo, kailangan nyo palang abogado. So malaki hong pagbabago yan. Okay? So I would like to end masyado pong mahaba, but it's really more of an assurance to everyone here today sa mga negosyante that your government is really working very hard. And that your government, whether they belong to the judiciary, Congress, or the executive branch, whether national or local, we are all working towards your reforms because we know that today's reforms will be tomorrow's business.
More highlights of today's business insights from CEOs and thought leaders and industry experts when Open for Business returns.
The delivery more efficient.
But why is it?
Sa pagbubukas ng ika-4 na season ng negosyo, asenso at iba pa, tila hindi lamang pinto ang nagbukas sa ating programa dahil malugod tayong pinatuloy sa bahay ng bago nating kasangga. Pinagkakatiwalaan sa pagninegosyo, ang Department of Trade and Industry. Kaya naman papasalan natin ang buong Mimaropa para ipatingin, ipatikim, ipadama at iparinig ang iba't ibang kwento ng pag-asenso dahil sa pagninegosyo. Kaya naman linggo-linggo, alas 5:30 ng hapon, manood, matuto, magnegosyo. Dito lamang sa programang nagbibigay ng impormasyon at inspirasyon sa pagninegosyo. Ito ang inyong lingkod, Francis Chis Garcia, at ito ang negosyo, asenso at iba pa.
Abangan ngayong linggo sa Season 3 finale ng Young Once Upon a Time. Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
How can SMEs embrace digital transformation? What are the steps in setting up a business? How can businessmen be successful salespreneurs? What are the areas in creative entrepreneurship? How do you build your franchising business? What are the market updates in the real estate industry? How important is healthcare to SMEs? All the answers will come from notable CEOs, thought leaders, and industry experts in this episode of Open for Business. Let's watch this.
In business, when you start a business, it's not right away you will earn profit. Sometimes it takes several months or years before earning profit. So that's why you, a businessman or an entrepreneur, has the capacity to take the risk. So if you are willing to take risk, then you will benefit from the return of operating a business. And an entrepreneur are wealth creators. It's not only maintaining wealth, but creators of wealth. Why? Because in creating a product or offering services to your customers, then you are also creating not only to yourself, but also to other people. What are the reasons why some people choose to establish their own business rather than choose an employment? So people choose entrepreneurship for many reasons. First, dissatisfaction with traditional work. So in the traditional work, you work for 8 hours, but not in business. Maybe you can work for more than 8 hours. So these are the reasons why people become entrepreneur, desire to be one's own boss, desire for to succeed financially, desire for job security, desire for improved quality life. So as we have mentioned, entrepreneurs are wealth creators. They find a job security in managing their own business, and in starting their own business, they find quality time for their family. He is a result-oriented person also, because he wants to achieve something that he can contribute to the society. He could contribute to the community. Then he has the self-confidence, optimistic. He has also tolerance for failure. As we have mentioned a while ago, that the entrepreneur is a risk taker. He has the ability to take risk, but he has also the ability to mitigate the risk that he is facing in his own business. Analyze your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For example, you have analyzed already your market. You want to serve, for example, the working class, specifically the working women or ladies. And then, you have to analyze also the threats. So, for example, ano-ano yung magiging problems if, for example, you're going to offer the apparel for your intended clients or customers. So, ang daming RTW, di ba? RTW na mas cheaper. So, isa yun sa dapat nyong i-consider. The masses, the affluent, the class A, the class B, the class C, or the class D or E. So, you need to define your market. Why is it necessary to define your market? Because if you have a clear definition of who is your market, then all of your actions like producing the product, pricing the product, promoting the product, and providing the distribution channel, then it is tailored to your target customers. When you are ready, or you have done all of those plans, so ito na yung tanong, pinaka-mabigat na tanong po, saan nyo kukunin yung puhunan? So, base ba doon sa ipon nyo? O mangungutang sa kamag-anak, sa kapitbahay, sa magulang? O are you going to seek funding from bank loans? So, it's up to you po. Or sa business partners po nyo. So, yun po. You need to determine. Pero po, ang tip po dyan kung paano po kayo makapag-decide the lowest cost po. The lowest cost of funding. And then, after all of those po, when you establish now your own business, you are ready to promote that to your customers. Now, if you are interested po for taking up a business courses, I am inviting you po to enroll in New Era University, the College of Business Administration po, offering BS Entrepreneurship, BS Real Estate Management, and I'm very proud to tell you po that New Era University had 2 top-notchers in the recent real estate brokers examination. Top 8 and top 9 po. So, we are offering also BSBA, specialization in marketing management, financial management, human resource development management, and legal management. This is a preparation for law, kasi New Era has the College of Law also. And aside from the College of Business Administration po, we have the Graduate School of Business. So you can enroll for further advancement, Doctorate in Business Administration, Master in Business Administration, specialization in Human Resource Management, Organizational Management, and the newest specialization po that the New Era is offering, the International MBA specialization in International Relations. Salamat po ng marami po sa inyo.
We talk about digital disruption and how it is important in your business. I think everyone would agree here that as an entrepreneur, we have to start innovating and transforming how we do business so we remain relevant and competitive in the market. It is happening. So it is important to start thinking about it and how it will impact the future of our business. Okay? And of course, the latest article in Entrepreneur highlights that even for the SMEs, digital disruption is already happening. Now, small SMEs are in danger of failing if they forget to think about the strategies that would help them remain competitive. So, kinakailangan iniisip na to as early as now, even if you are like a home-based food business entrepreneur, we must think of ways on how to make our operation successful so that we become more competitive.
Her smartphone guarantees her constant web access and keeps her in touch with her friends. She uses dozens of handy apps to take care of everything when she's on the go. And there are thousands of new possibilities appearing every day. But why is Emma's company any different? True, she did introduce some technological tools to simplify administrative tasks, but that was many years ago, and IT has come a long way since. By now, those systems are practically ancient. When she tries to retrieve data, it can take ages. And communication with partners or customers is very roundabout. No one is ever quite on the same page. Enough is enough. It's high time for a digital transformation in the business world. Otherwise, Emma and many other companies might fall behind in the market as small startups and even suppliers and manufacturers become serious competitors. In the internet age, the value chain has been completely reorganized. Consumers and producers are now in direct contact. That's why Emma's company, its corporate IT systems, and all of its communications are overdue for an urgent upgrade. The internet links everyone in a global network. Emma can now identify the best partner companies quickly and collaborate with them seamlessly. The data flows over broadband technology and can be accessed anywhere. This lets Emma's company seize groundbreaking opportunities. She can implement interfaces to reach customers through brand new channels that target them directly. Plus, customized product extensions lead to fresh business models that are just as versatile as today's mobile society. In the digital world, IT is not only a tool anymore, it's the central seed for every company's growth. Emma is ready to go full speed ahead into the digital transformation. In her race against her competitors, that's how she'll gain ground and impress her customers.
So that video will show you, diba, how digital could help your business, whatever business you're in, food, services, trading, etc. Right? Now, you may ask, digital transformation is so broad. Where do I even begin? Right? We say here that digital transformation really, more than anything else, is a strategy. Right? It is a strategy. As a business owner, you take a step back, look at your business, and study as to how you can leverage the technologies available right now, right, to leapfrog your business and be competitive. What are those technologies? It doesn't have to be like you implement everything in one go, right? And there are many ways to innovate and digitize your business. So, what are these areas that we can innovate as business owners, right? We say that there are actually 3 areas in your business that you may want to start thinking about. And then, of course, at the end of the day, when we all decide on the strategy, on the capabilities that we want to develop, then we look at the market and see the technologies available. Technology is always the last piece in the puzzle. Okay? Technology is becoming cheaper nowadays. It's easy to adopt it. So it is more important to crystallize your strategy before you invest in technology. Okay? This is a very good example of adopting digital transformation in your strategy? Because really, how our lawyers would research on cases, right? They have to go to the books, to go to, some library that has all the content that they need for whatever jurisprudence case that's relevant. And that's a lot of work. Now, in your smartphone, you can already access the cases. So that's a lot of efficiency in providing the service. Just to provide further inspiration, these are the areas that you as business owners can start innovating. Yeah, after this session, you will start thinking about your business and areas that you know can be quick wins in terms of getting into that digital space, right? Now, what it says here is that, in fact, the micro SMEs in the Philippines, we are basically technically ahead of our peers in the region. So that is a lot of encouragement and motivation for micro SMEs like yourselves to look into the technology and the strategy that digital can offer us.
Know the latest news and information here and abroad. In Aguila, Balita, track the latest happenings in the provinces in Aguila, Provincia. Be aware of important events in Asia, in ASEAN in Focus, and be updated in the biggest news around the world in Eagle News International. Tune into Mata ng Aguila and get the day's headlines and news that are sharp, accurate, and objective. Only here at Net25.
Iba't ibang di pangkaraniwang pangyayari ang nagaganap sa ating komunidad sa buong bansa at magiging sa iba't ibang panig ng daigdig.
Mga pangyayaring nagpapakilo sa damdamin, nagsisilbing inspirasyon at nakakaapekto sa mga mamamayan.
Sa mata ng Aguila, patuloy kaming maghahatid ng tunay, patas at balanse mga balita na walang ibang motibo kundi serbisyo publiko.
Subaybayan ang mga hatid naming balita sa Eagle News PH Facebook at Twitter pages.
at sa Eagle News Live YouTube channel.
At sa aming website, ang eaglenews.ph.
Mata ng Agila! Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 6 hanggang alas 7:30 ng gabi.
E25 Records proudly presents
Palaging talo sa umpisa.
Iwan man ng kahapon, may dalang tatanggapin ang bawat hamon.
Creative entrepreneurship is something new. Actually, some people are already in this space, except that institutions such as government as well as the private sector and those advocates in business have not really taken their time to sit down and concretize how we are seeing creative entrepreneurship as a little bit of a science through the generation and exploitation of intellectual property. This definition comes from the UK Digital, Culture, Media and Sports, because way back in 2009, it's actually the former Prime Minister of UK, Tony Blair, who really started the movement in UK for creative economy. And so they started this definition and they work with universities and the business sector in London. So they also look at how does UNESCO define creative economy. It says that these are the creative sectors covering culture and the arts, where the use of creativity has been demonstrated as a source of business success and competitiveness. And the purpose of which is for production, reproduction, promotion, distribution, commercialization of creative goods and services and activities relating to culture and the arts and heritage. So this is basically the definition for creative economy. So what are this creative economy? What are the sectors? So if you are into advertising, you can see a lot of creative content based used in advertising. Also in terms of architecture, maybe some of you here are architects, those who are involved in design and also industrial design. Also for fashion design, those who are into doing a lot of haute couture or even ordinary dresses for women. So fashion design is also considered as in the creative economy. And so is crafts. No? So we have a lot of indigenous materials being used in terms of doing giftware, decorative, furniture. These are all crafts that we can start engaging in and start doing our creative talents. Also in terms of leisure, interactive leisure, the games now, the online games, people who make these games and the software development, they are also involving our creativity and skills and technical skills that can go into a creative economy. Okay, so in terms of publishing, well, at this time and age, we are all in the era of the internet and the World Wide Web. Everybody is into this. So when you publish your blogs, for example, when you write something, whether it's a full article or a microblogging, you are actually publishing yourself. Or if you have a website that is also doing publishing, or if you are creating websites, you're doing web development, that is also publishing. If you are on radio, Those who are doing a lot of commercials in radio, jingles for example, when you create your radio jingle, your commercials on the radio, that is part of radio. And you are doing also your creative talent in terms of composing, writing, and everything for radio. And so for television, for example, when you make commercials, when you make TV commercials, you are doing something of your creativity, creative design. So you're putting it on air, on TV, and in that way, there is some kind of creativity and talent for you to create TV commercials. When you create designs for your products and also for packaging, you are creating industrial design, fashion designs, toys and games. So if you have ideas on how to create toys and games, it may not necessarily be so high-tech, but if you are doing crafts and you're doing toys and games, you can do that. And in terms of graphic design, we see their applications in advertising, television, and film. So if you are a graphic designer, this is the exciting time for you to really be an entrepreneur in the creative sector of our economy.
Kung gusto niyo pong maging matagumpay, ano man ang gusto niyong gawin, negosyo man o pag-aahente o maging empleyado, sabihin po natin sa sarili natin, I am a salespreneur. Diba? So, salespreneurship po ang susi doon. Ano po bang ibig sabihin ng salespreneurship? Napakasimple po na nakakalimutan lang nating lahat. Going back to the basic, salespreneurship is the beautiful mixture of creative salesmanship at saka yung tinatawag na innovative entrepreneurship. Lahat po tayo marunong bumenta. Yung iba naman po marunong magnegosyo. Bakit hindi natin laging pagsamahin yon? So pag pinagsama po natin yon, sino ka man, ano ka man, ikaw po ay tiyak na magiging matagumpay sa iyong ginagawa ngayon. Balikan po natin. Ano po bang ibig sabihin ng salesmanship? Ang dali naman po nun. Salesmanship is our ability to influence people, diba, to buy our product or service. Ano man po ang product mo o service, maliit man yan o big time. Yun pong influence ang pinag-uusapan natin dyan. Paano ka willing o ka-effective na mag-influence para bilhin yung negosyo o yung produkto mo o serbisyo. At ang entrepreneurship, simple lang naman po, pinakasimpleng definition, our ability to ensure profitability in every business activity that we do. Pag walang profit, walang negosyo. Pag samahin natin dalawa, yun po yung salespreneurship. So, what makes a salespreneur? Sabi nga natin, hindi lahat ng ahente are entrepreneurial. Hindi naman lahat ng nakaisip ng negosyo ay, di ba, may salesmanship. So kaya kung minsan, nag-aaway pa nga yung dalawa. Kaya hindi nagiging successful. So what makes a successful entrepreneur? Dapat po ay may pusong ahente at may utak negosyante. Huwag nating paghihiwalayin yung dalawa. Kung ahente ka, dapat utak negosyante. Kung negosyante ka, dapat laging nandun yung salesmanship in every way you can. Hindi tatakbong negosyo kung walang sales and marketing. Diyan po nang gagaling lahat ng kita ng negosyo sa magandang sales and marketing program. At siyempre, hindi lang po puro sales and marketing. Ang third, cornerstone ay pong tinatawag na resource or financial management. Kahit gaano kagandang produkto, kahit gaano kagandang sales and marketing, nakabenta ka, nabenta mo lahat. At the end of the day, may kita ba? Na-manage mo ba yung resources? Baka puro sales, walang profit. Hindi negosyo yun. Okay? So, product, simple po. Choose the best product dyan, o kung anong naisip mo, sinong magpakakatulong sa'yo sa product. And of course, sa formula ng pagpili ng product, always be the product of your product. Sales, alam naman po natin, ang sales is a process, hindi po siya tsambahan. And always trust the process. Pag sinunod mo yung process, kahit ano pong produkto, hindi na rin natin palalawakin. Ang sinasabi ko lang po, kahit anong produkto mo, dapat meron kang process. Okay? Ayan. So, sa real estate, ang nagkakaiba lang po dun sa pang-apat. Sa real estate, tripping. Sa mga product, sampling. Sa iba, demo. Hanggang sa makarating tayo sa closing. Isang module po yan na dapat alam ng bawat ahente. Ito po yung tandaan lang natin. Para po tayo lahat maging successful na salespreneur, baguhan man, datihan, or maliit yung produkto o malaki, ito lang po yung 4 pillars of salespreneurship o kung tawagin ko po ay 4 C's. Number 1. Sorry po. Yan. Number 1, the first C, create your value, either of your product or a salesperson. Huwag po kayong papasok sa negosyo o pag-aahente kung hindi nyo na-create ng malinaw yung value na in-offer nyo. Remember, sabi ko kanina, hindi na yung product o presyo, kundi yung exchange. Ito po yung value. So ano man po ang papasukan nyo, make sure malinaw sa inyo yung value. Pag na-create nyo yung value, you are starting on the right note. Siyempre, pag may value na kayo, go to the second C, which is be able to connect, di ba, your value, di ba, to the market that needs your value. So make sure ito na sa sales, ito na yung prospecting, qualifying, di ba? Of course, nagsisimula sa lead generation, so profiling. Ang maraming ahente, kaya pagod na pagod, walang kinikita, kung sino-sinong inaalok, hindi naman qualified. In fact, ang pinupuntahan nila, yung ayaw sa produkto nila or they don't need the benefit that they're offering. So don't talk about so many features, talk about the benefits that would make an impact to your prospective clients. So ibig sabihin, huwag ka nang gumastos ng marami. Don't spend too much. Focus on specific market that needs your value. Okay? Then when you are able to connect to the market, huwag mo nang palampasin yon. Convert that connection into a sale, into a business, into a revenue. Ayan, nagsisimula ng kumita ang ahente dyan. Because maintaining relationship in business, alam naman natin, will give you more sales, through repeat sales, through referral sales. And my favorite sales guru, Tom Hopkins, says, 78% ng growth ng kanyang sales empire is attributed by simply going back to previous clients. By simply making previous clients as allies in the business. Yun yung nagpapalaki ng kanyang sales empire. Ibig sabihin, 22% lang ng new kasi yun nagsisimula ka uli from zero. Yung previous client, may loyalty na yon, may goodwill na yon, maintain mo lang yung relationship mo, lalaki yung negosyo mo.
Now in its 51st year, Eagle Broadcasting Corporation has held various child care and development programs. With the support of participating organizations and sponsors, EBC conducted the following activities. Sports clinic program wherein basketball coaches and players taught students the importance of discipline.
So if I say 3 claps,
2 claps. 1, 2, 3, 0.
Confidence,
Fire! Stance!
and teamwork. Free haircut, free massage, feeding programs, school supplies distribution, and storytelling spearheaded by Net25 Kids.
Sa kanya, nagkasakit po. Nagkasakit.
EBC Cares, enabling a better community.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Thank you for watching the first half of the highlights of the launch of Open for Business on TV. Join us again in the next episodes of Open for Business for more business insights from our industry experts promoting SME development and business in the Philippines. See you again next Saturday for another episode of Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News, and you can watch us again in the video section of the Eagle News Facebook page and on eaglenewslive.com. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Eagle News. Catch me later at 9 p.m. and every Wednesday on Net25's Eagle News International as I join Alma Angeles in reporting more business news here and around the world. Tito's Trusted Tailoring and all our sponsors, thank you very much. For Open for Business, this is Cesar Vallejos. Have a great day.
Open for Business was presented by Eagle Broadcasting Corporation and Globe My Business. Create your success.